Welcome to Elovesenglish channel. Today we're doing a deep dive specifically for you,
Oh, okay.
focusing on overcoming hesitation in your spoken English,
Right.
particularly in professional and scientific communication as a genetic scientist.
Okay, great.
You've shared some material about understanding and minimizing hesitation when speaking.
Yeah.
Our mission today is to unpack the core ideas
Right.
and offer practical insights to help you speak more confidently and fluently.
Sounds good.
Let's start by acknowledging that hesitation is a common experience for everyone.
Yeah, definitely.
The material you provided highlights psychological barriers,
Mm-hmm.
like fear of making mistakes, perfectionism, and self-doubt, as
Mm-hmm.
significant contributors.
Yeah.
It's important to recognize these feelings as normal, even for accomplished professionals.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah. So why do you think these feelings are so powerful?
Well, I think it feels like genetics, where precision and accuracy are so important.
Yeah.
The stakes can feel really high. So the fear of misrepresenting data or not articulating complex ideas perfectly can be a significant source of anxiety,
Yeah.
which then leads to those hesitations as we mentally double-check ourselves.
Okay, and that mental double-checking often manifests as those filler words like, like
Right. Exactly.
the material suggests we should try to replace them with purposeful pauses or even just silence.
Yeah, I think that's a good strategy.
But sometimes silence can feel awkward.
It can, yeah.
How do we strike that balance?
I think it's about being intentional.
Okay.
So instead of using a filler word that doesn't really add any value to your message, take a brief pause.
Yeah.
It gives you time to formulate your thought,
Right?
or it allows your listener to absorb a complex point.
Okay, so it's almost like punctuation in your speech.
Exactly. It can help to emphasize certain points.
Right, like in a scientific presentation.
Yeah, for
A
example.
pause before a key finding can heighten its impact. The idea of natural flow also came up in your materials.
Yes.
It's not about being a robot and never pausing,
Right.
but more about a smooth, coherent delivery that keeps your audience engaged,
Yeah.
especially when explaining complex genetic concepts.
It's definitely important to keep the audience engaged.
Yeah, so what are some concrete ways to achieve that natural flow?
Well, one technique is called chunking.
Chunking.
Yes, instead of delivering a long string of complex details.
Okay.
You break the information down into smaller, more digestible segments.
Got it.
Each segment can have a clear topic sentence followed by supporting information, and then a brief pause before moving to the next chunk.
Okay, and using transition phrases.
Yes, things like building on this or in contrast can help create a smoother flow between ideas.
Your material also includes a self-assessment activity,
Right.
recording a short speech to identify personal hesitation patterns.
That's a great
What
exercise.
kind of things should our listener,
Yeah, what should they be listening for?
a genetic scientist, be listening for in their recording?
Well, they should listen for hesitations at the beginning of sentences.
Okay.
That might indicate uncertainty about how to start.
What else?
Notice, if you tend to use fillers before specific technical terms,
Right?
that could signal a need for more familiarity with that vocabulary.
Interesting.
And pay attention to pauses or fillers when explaining complex mechanisms or data.
Okay.
That might highlight areas where you could structure your explanation more clearly.
Thinking about a genetic scientist's work,
Yes,
where clear communication is so vital for sharing research and collaborating,
absolutely.
minimizing these hesitations could really enhance their professional impact.
It makes a big difference.
It's about projecting confidence in your knowledge, right?
Exactly. When you speak fluently and clearly, your audience is more likely to engage with your findings and see you as a credible source.
So to recap, the key takeaways from your materials are
Okay.
understanding the psychological roots of hesitation, becoming more aware of those filler words and replacing them with purposeful pauses,
Yes.
and actively working towards a natural flow in your delivery through techniques like chunking.
Those are all great points.
And that self-assessment is a fantastic first step
Absolutely.
to identify your individual patterns.
It's a great way to start.
What's fascinating here is the direct link
Yeah, what's fascinating.
between addressing these fundamental speaking habits and enhancing your ability to convey complex scientific information
It's really interesting.
with clarity and confidence.
Yeah.
This raises an important question for you to consider.
What's that?
In your next professional interaction as a genetic scientist,
All right.
how might consciously applying just one of these techniques?
So just focusing on one thing.
Yeah, maybe focusing on taking a deliberate pause instead of saying,
That's a good one to start with.
impact your delivery and the clarity of your communication.
I think it can make a big difference. It's often those small, focused adjustments that have the biggest impact.
That's a great point to end on. Thanks for joining us.
It was my pleasure.
And thanks for listening.
See you next time.